Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 here in our EMC to the Sky playthrough. Last week we did a little bit of automation, getting some coal automation so that we can use the coal to get some EMC. This week we're going to push that a little farther and finish out a few things in the quest book, and we're also going to get into doing our bioresource generator, which allows us to produce all the things you see here. So first things first is we're going to go into our chapter that we're working on basic resources. There's just a few things left to finish out in here with making netherrack, clay, and stone barrels. And we're going to skip over the animal baits, but we want to get these 3 finished. But before we do that, I noticed in here that there was a tab saying thank you for 1,000 downloads, which is now 20,000 downloads. And in there was a thing that gave us some free fluorite, which is appreciated, and a thing that gives us a buddy. So to do the buddy, all I have to do is press P, and then we get a little buddy to hang out with us. So we can have a little version of ourselves to run around and just have some fun with, which I think is pretty cool. The passive EMC here has helped us get a little bit over 60k. This fluorite will put us almost to 100,000, and it teaches us fluorite. I'm actually going to take one of those back out, craft it down into regular fluorite, and teach that too. The next thing we want to do is work on making a stone barrel. So a stone barrel just requires stone, which we've already taught our system, and we can craft some stone slabs, which we haven't taught to our system yet. And then we just take one of these, go like this, and go down like this. So now we have stone barrels in our lexicon of things that we can make. Stone barrel can sit down right here. And there is, of course, the process to make lava that is involving using a crucible that we fire up and we put in stone and turn it into lava. But we have iron, and we can make an iron bucket, or we can make a bucket. And if I grab the iron from here, we teach the system how to make lava buckets. Then we can put it back in. We can also teach the system to make regular buckets. So we can grab a water. We can teach the system to make water buckets. And there we go. And if you notice, buckets, water buckets, and lava buckets are all the same EMC. So basically, if we grab a water bucket and we put that water down somewhere and we put the bucket back, we haven't lost any EMC. So that means we basically have free infinite water and lava, which is very, very nice. That means we can use that lava and we can put it in here and we can put that back. We can grab a redstone, put it in here. We can grab ourselves our netherrack. We're going to teach that to our system. We're also going to use one of the netherrack here to burn, or put it in the furnace to burn it up, and we're going to smelt it into a nether brick, which means we can teach our system how to make that as well. Push you away, little pet, because you're in the way. So as far as our quests go in our book here, that means we have netherrack. We need to get 36 of them. So we go in here, find our netherrack. We just pull a stack out. That finishes that quest up. For clay, we can do something similar where we grab a water bucket, put it in there. We already know how to make dust. So if we grab a dust, put it in there, we grab clay, we teach the system to make clay blocks. We can take the clay block, we can put it down and break it, which teaches our system how to make clay balls. And we're also going to cook one of those up so that we can teach the system how to make regular bricks. So let's check out our quest. We need 9 clay in order to finish the quest out. So let's grab that a while. And with this, And that'll finish out our first chapter. We do need to get into doing animal baits, but for that, we're going to need leads in order to make it. And I don't have slime balls yet, so we're going to skip over that for now. But now our system has learned to make bricks, and we're going to move on to the next chapter. The next chapter is bioresources. So just like our regular tier 1 resources, it starts off with a generator. The generator just requires wood and a water bucket. So we're going to grab a bucket of water. We're going to grab a stack of wood. We're going to take the water bucket. We're going to surround it with wood. And there we go. We got a bio generator. We'll set it up here. The next part of the quest shows us that we need to make biocapsules. The biocapsules are made by putting a biocatalyst into the biogenerator with some water. The biocatalyst is made using wood, saplings, a tier 1 mini catalyst, and bone meal. And if you remember, to make the tier 1 catalyst, we did this, but we already put that into our system. We can grab one of those. So the other things that we need in order to make this is bone meal, saplings, and wood. We have the wood, have saplings, we have bone meal. So we can craft this. Let's see if I can shift click it in. I can't. So, okay, the wood goes in the corners. Saplings go like this. Bone meal like this. And there we go. And we can put that, before we put that in, let's teach it to our system. Put everything back. Put that in. We're going to grab water. And what we're going to do to make this process a little easier, we're going to grab 2 buckets of water. And then I'm going to grab some planks. We're going to do stairs. Teach the system how to make stairs. And then we'll leave the planks out. Grab some more of those. What we're going to do is we'll come over here. Put it back here. I'm going to do wood like this. I'm going to put a stair like this. A stair like this. Let's grab some slabs. We'll put slabs across the front. We'll put water in that stair, water in that stair, and there we have that. So let's grab this machine. For the moment, all we're going to do is we'll set this machine here. We'll put in our catalyst. We'll take our bucket, and then we can just bucket in buckets of water to get the system running. Pretty soon we'll set up a system to automatically pump water in if we need to. But for now, we can just keep putting water in manually, and that'll get us the biocapsules that we need. These, just like the resources we got from our resource generator over there, are not able to be EMC'd, which means we actually have to generate them in order to make things. But unlike the resources that we get from over here, instead of EMCing most of the resources, we're going to end up taking those resources and setting up farms because they are also not EMCable. But I'll show you that in just a minute once we get a few more of these systems here. I'm going to put a chest right next to it. So let's use these biocapsules. Basically, we're just going to look and see what they can craft. We're going to craft a carrot. Then the next thing will be we're going to need seeds in order to craft the grass seeds. So to do that, we need some bone meal. And we're going to bone meal. Oh, this is dirt, not grass. I had grass there, and I might have turned it into dirt. Might be an issue. Anyway, let's go back and look and see what we have here. So the other things we can make with this, we'll skip over the grass seeds. We can do a sugar cane. We can do red mushrooms. We can do, oops, cactus. We can do ground mushrooms. We'll be able to do pumpkins, but I think we're out of catalysts. Grab a few more of these. So again, we'll look and see what we can make, and we'll make this. Oh, actually, 6. That was this, like that. Makes our pumpkin. I forgot you can boil in water to get the seaweed. That's kind of new to me. I'm going to let this grow a few more, and then we'll get the rest of the plants that we can grow. So I did do a mistake where I planted trees on all of these dirt before I actually used the grass blocks. And the only way to make grass seeds is using the seeds to make grass seeds. So I went to the quest book to see what to do. And fortunately, it says if you accidentally break all of the existing grass blocks before getting some seeds and EMCing them, you can use the emergency items to get yourselves some wheat seeds. What? Do I have to wait for the 2 minutes before I can actually click on them? I get the need to make it so that you can't just go in here and just grab emergency seeds over and over and over again to get free EMC. I'd like to think nobody would do that. It's such a small amount of EMC. But I think it's silly to do it where you have to wait on the screen for 2 minutes and then get it. Because it would be much better if you could grab them and then you have to wait an hour before you could grab them again or something like that. But before we forget, let's put these seeds in here and we'll grab some back. There they are. These are all the other things I was able to make using the biocapsules. So some of these things I want to teach to our system. The pumpkins was one. I'm going to pull one back out. Melon doesn't have an EMC. But if we break our melon... Oh, these don't have the EMC either. And neither do the melon seeds. So that is a non-EMC item. The carrots do not have an EMC. Sugarcane does not have an EMC. Wheat does. So let's make sure our system knows how to make wheat. Red mushroom, brown mushroom, cactus, bamboo, and potato all do not have an EMC. As far as the dandelion, it does. So we're going to put that in there. We're going to pull one out. We're also going to turn it into a yellow dye and put that in. And let's just double check to make sure we're not missing anything else. We have carrots. We need to make grass seeds, which means let's grab another seed out because I want to keep that in my inventory so I can remember it. And then we're just going to take a seed and a biocapsule to make grass seeds, which also does not have an EMC value. After the grass seeds, we have the sugarcane, the red mushroom we made, cactus, and brown mushroom we made, pumpkin, dandelion, melon, bamboo, wheat, potato. Last thing we need to do is make a poppy. So we need a white dye for that. And we can craft the poppy like so. We'll teach our system how to make poppies. And we will convert a poppy into red dye, so our system now knows how to make red dye. So wheat and wheat seeds, our system can learn. So I'm not going to set up a farm for that because we can just pull using EMC, we can pull the wheat or the wheat seeds out as much as we want. Same with the pumpkins. And let's just put a few of these other things away. The things that are all over here are all things that we cannot EMC. So in order to grow them, what we're going to get working on is getting into botany pots. The botany pots require us to make flower pots and then terracotta. And if we want to automate them, we're going to need a hopper. So to make terracotta, we need to take our clay and we need to cook it to get the terracotta. Let's grab our bricks while that's cooking. And we're going to craft those into flower pots. Grab our terracotta. Those are both things that we can teach our system. So let's put the terracotta in. Then we're going to grab a stack of it out. We'll put the flower pot in and we'll grab a stack of those out. And then for the hopper, we have the ability to make chests and iron. And we're going to just make one. You can see the hoppers also have an EMC value. So we put this back. We can teach the system to make hoppers, and we'll have a stack of those. So now let's craft some botany pots, hopper botany pots. And we actually only need one. So we can put all of these things back away. We can put the hopper botany pot in, and we can get ourselves a stack of hopper botany pots. We're also going to need dirt, which we did teach the system, and we're going to need sand, and then we're going to need a bunch of chests. And so what we're going to do, I'm just going to set them up over here for now. We'll put down some chests. We're going to put some botany pots on top. Oops. And then each of these items, grass seeds actually are just going to be here. We're going to put in red mushrooms. Red mushrooms, I think to grow in a botany pot, we're actually going to need podzol or mycelium. We're not going to be able to grow that in dirt. That's fine. We'll set that aside for the moment. To be true, the same on brown mushrooms. The bamboo we can grow in dirt. Potato we can grow in dirt. Carrot we can grow in dirt. Cactus, no on dirt. We need sand. Sugarcane, same thing. Melon seeds can grow in dirt. So for these, let's take these out. We're going to put sand in a couple of these, and we're going to put down cactus, and we're going to put down sugarcane. We'll have to get podzol or mycelium to do these. We'll worry about that in just a few minutes. But now, with each of these things growing, we'll be able to get resources in here, and we'll be able to use those resources without having to manually grow them, which will be very useful going forward. So let's check out our quest book. Under bioresources, we have completed the entire chapter, and we can move on. It wants us to do some tinkering, so that's what we're going to work on next. And then we're going to get started on steel. For us to get into tinkers, which is one of my favorite mods, we are going to start by checking this task. Oh, actually, I think we have to work the other way around. We're going to start with this task. We're going to check this task, give us some more patterns and some tool pieces. So we're going to use these patterns and some wood. And we're going to craft some more parts because I want to have a tool handle and a binding, and then 2 more tool handles so I can use these parts. For the pick, we're just going to use the seared stone on my current pick. For the axe, we will do this. And for the sword, we will do this. And that will finish out that quest. The next thing, we already made the seared brick for the other quest line. Now it wants us to get some more. So we'll just grab it. That'll finish that quest. And we need to craft 32 seared bricks, which we use the seared brick to craft. We can make 16 of them, but we can EMC it. And we can get a stack of them, which is good. We'll take care of that. We need to make a faucet, a basin, and a casting table. So I am going to grab the faucet that I already taught it. We'll craft a casting table and a casting basin. I'm going to teach the system how to make both of those. And we will grab them back out because we're going to need them. We're also going to need to make a seared drain. That's going to require some copper. So we'll just do 2 copper with 4 pieces of seared brick. Next, we're going to want to make the smeltery controller. So the smeltery controller also uses copper. We're going to put 3 pieces of copper in here and let them cook up. We're going to need fuel in order to make that happen. Then we're going to take 1 more because we need 4 for this. We're going to actually grab this piece out because this is not the one we want. We want this one. And once we have the 4 ingots in there, what we can do is we'll take the heater from here because we're not going to need it anymore. We'll put it in there and we'll pour the copper over. Copper solidifies. And now we go have our smeltery controller, which is perfect. We also need a seared fuel tank, which I believe we already made in the last episode. So we'll just grab it out, which finishes out what we need in here. And now we can take this task, which even though we barely use them, I am going to use to upgrade to iron tools, like so. Now, to actually utilize these tools, we're going to need a little bit more space. So let's grab some cobble, slabs, take a stack of them, and I'm just going to extend this way out. I want to see, do we have the ability to craft a building wand? We don't have diamond yet, but we could make iron. So iron and 2 sticks. These are EMCable, which is great. So let's teach this system how to make those. I'll grab a couple of them. And then we're going to go over here and let's see. No restrictions. Grab a few more cobblestone slabs. And the goal is just to extend this out a little bit so we have some more space to work. Builder's wand makes that much easier. Fortunately, since we don't have diamond, kind of have to do it smaller sections, but that's okay. We'll get to diamond soon enough. That'll give us some extra space. I'll put some torches down in the corners just to make sure I have some light. And we're going to use our seared bricks to now make ourselves a smeltery. So I'm going to make a smeltery that is 3x3 internal, which means it's going to have 5x5 base. And normally you wouldn't put the bottom corners in, but I have EMC in order to get as many seared bricks as I want. So I'm just going to make it like that. Let's put in the other things we need. We're going to need a controller. Put it on this side. We're going to need a tank. We'll put there. We're going to need a drain, which we'll put right here. And in this case, I'm going to leave this corner off. I'm going to put a seared faucet there. We're actually going to grab this stuff here because we're done with it. We'll put a faucet here. We'll put down casting table, casting basin. We have our tank, we have our controller, we have our drain, and then all we'll need left to do is to fill out the rest of this thing. Let's leave all 4 of the corners off. just to save a little bit, because I don't feel like making it that big. Going to be one short from what I want to do, so we'll put these in and say, hey, I need more of those. We're going to go just one more high. And the reason I like to do, 3x3, so that's 9, that's 36. I actually want to go, that'll be 42, 48, 54, 60, and 60. That's how high I want to go. Could have made it a 4x4 internal. That probably would have been better. I just like to have it have at least 64 spaces inside, because that way I can shift click an entire stack of items inside the smeltery all at once. Makes things super easy for us. This will do just fine for that purpose. I'm going to throw a couple torches up here because I don't want anything spawning and falling on my head. We'll drop back down here and get rid of this cobblestone that I pillared up with. So if I did that correctly, I should now have a working smeltery. Which I do. And we can grab lava out of our EMC table. There we go. We have a working smeltery. The other thing that's on this chapter is blazing blood. It does give us a description that the easiest way to get the blazing blood later is that we can get a cardboard box and use it to bring in a spawner from the nether, place it into our smeltery to automate making blazing blood. But we won't need blazing blood for a little while because it's only used in the later recipes in the Tinker's smeltery. But that will, in fact, get us set up to finish that chapter out. And we're going to just start working on the road to steel today, too, because we have a little more time. So let's start by making our engineer's hammer. Engineer's hammer is going to require some iron ingots. It's going to require some string. And it's going to require some sticks. I have that back. And the nice thing is the engineer's hammer is EMCable, which means that we can kind of throw it back in when we're not using it, which is the same with these builder's wands. So that's the first step. Next step is to get into making our coke oven. So we need coke bricks. Coke bricks are going to require clay. Going to require bricks. Forget what the middle part was. Sandstone. I think I have already taught our system to make sandstone. Oh, I made sand, but I didn't make sandstone. We'll correct that right now. So now, if we take our sandstone, I believe it was bricks like this, and play around, we can make coke bricks. We can throw these in here, as well as a bunch of this other stuff that we don't need at the moment. These extra smeltery blocks that we didn't use up can go in there. But when we go in and find those coke bricks, now we need 27 of them to make a coke oven, and we can do that very easily because of the EMC. And all we need to do is take 3x3, put them down, and let's put it this way, hit it with a hammer, and now we have a coke oven. Coke ovens are used to make coal coke. So all you do is you put in coal and let it slowly work its way into making coal coke for us. So we'll finish that off. We got a magma block as a reward. We can also make coal coke in there. That's the recipe that we're doing right now. So we just need to wait for that. And we can make treated planks. So treated planks are made using the creosote, which is a byproduct of making the coal coke. So we're going to grab some planks. And we're going to go in here. We're going to put a bucket. We just have to wait until we get enough creosote oil in order to do it. Okay, we got our first bucket of creosote oil. And what we do with that is we take planks, put them in, and we put a bucket of creosote oil in the middle, and we get treated planks. Unfortunately, they cannot be EMC'd, which means if we need, for the more that we need, we're going to actually have to craft them using the creosote that we get from here. Fortunately, we are going to need to make a lot of coal coke for our process, so we'll have it. It won't be too big of a deal to get the creosote oil, but right now we need to wait to allow this to make us coal coke, and we need to get the creosote so we can make a bunch of treated planks before we can move on with our rest of this chapter. We've also been going for over 30 minutes, and so I think I'm just going to call it here. Today we managed to finish out a good chunk of our quest book using here. So we are almost done with the Our Journey Begins section. We'll have to get steel and start a few other things from immersive engineering, and then we'll be able to move into tier 2 progression. After that, tier 2 progression is going to get us into the point where we have diamonds and zinc and gold, nickel, lapis, lead, and silver. And what that means for sure is that we're going to have most of the things that we need so that we can get into create, which is going to be really fun to play around with. So a lot of cool things coming up in the future, but for now, we're going to stay here and we'll get back to finishing up the first chapter of our journey and maybe get into tier 2 progression in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.